James Gunn responded to a post on Instagram and has technically confirmed 5 characters for the DCU. So let's talk about that. So this list of characters involves sort of a fan page of polls and votes, and these were like the top 10 things that people wanted for the new DCU. And James Gunn responded, said, well, how about 5 out of 10 of those? So let's go through the list and discuss what the likelihoods are of each of these characters are to make a debut in Chapter 1, or if I think maybe not right away, but we'll see him down the road. Let's kick this list off with the first one that's actually on the list, and that's going to be Nightwing, aka Dick Grayson. So just a bit of background, he was the first Robin, but he left Gotham and became Nightwing, settling in Bloodhaven and becoming a hero in his own right. He does still come back to aid Bruce and the other Bat family members. However, a lot of his time he's either teaming up with the Titans or originally the Teen Titans and doing his own thing in Bloodhaven. He sort of has an acrobatic fight style, mainly because his origin was from the circus where his parents died, so he carries a lot of that with him. Now, I think the likelihood of Nightwing coming into the DCU is extremely likely, and because there's not going to be any more Titans show on Netflix, there's not going to be someone portraying Nightwing now in live action. And I do think that if he's used in the way that Nightwing was used in the Son of Batman animated film, in The Brave and the Bold, I think, he'll be a good mediator for Damian Bruce and sort of be a tool in the story, effectively, to sort of, say to Bruce, look, come on, you raised us, you did alright. Maybe not Jason, but we don't know about Jason, So I think Nightwing is definitely one of the 5 for the DCU. Next up, we've got Martian Manhunter. So he is the last green Martian of Mars. He has a plethora of abilities. He can regenerate, shapeshift, fly. He's got telekinesis, telepathy. He phases through things. His power level's on par with Superman. And we saw him really briefly at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League. But, come on. We can get more than that.
About the size.
I can grow into it.
Now for Lobo. There's a lot of things going on with Jason Momoa. It was back and forth, but he sort of said he's not playing more than one role and he's going to be, Aquaman for a while still. So I don't think he's as certain for this DCU, at least in the first phase. We've had kind of multiple backgrounds in the comics. So pre-Flashpoint Lobo, he created a plague of bugs that wiped out his entire homeworld. He's basically a space mercenary, so he's had things with Superman, the Green Lanterns, but I can't really see Lobo at this point. Brainiac, I think, good strong contender. He's a 12th level intellect. He can control multiple bodies similar to how Ultron did in Age of Ultron, and he sort of accumulates multiple technologies from across the universe. He was created on a planet called Kolu, whose inhabitants possessed advanced technologies, and he is primarily a Superman villain. So we've had him in animation, most recently in the games we've had him in Injustice 2, the Lego games. He was the big bad in was it Beyond Gotham, I want to say, and in the past he's taken on the Justice League, both on his own and with aid from the Legion of Doom. So that was just a team of multiple supervillains. But I think the big thing that stands out is that, like Lobo, he can appear in Supergirl or Superman, so that's 2 possible projects. However, Booster Gold's force field, shield, whatever you want to call it, it's based in Brainiac's tech. So, we'll at least get a mention or a name drop at least in the future. So I think, Booster could even come back to be like, look, Brainiac's coming, need to sort stuff out. So, I can see him definitely coming. Now, the first maybe on this list is going to be Deathstroke, aka Slade Wilson. So he has enhanced healing abilities, really, not to the extent of like Wolverine and Deadpool, but he can heal a lot better than most folk. He's a master assassin, so think of Batman if he was a mercenary and would kill people. It's a good way to think about that. So he has ties to Batman, the Teen Titans, mainly with the Judas contract, which was a whole thing in the comics, and also the Justice League, because in Identity Crisis it really sort of showed off how dangerous Slade can be. So in the story, Dr. Light hired Deathstroke to protect him from the Justice League, and he basically defeated the whole team single-handedly. He could show up in Brave and the Bold and be a villainous counter to Batman's ideals, so sort of just try and sway Damian away from sort of his father's righteous side. But if he's not in this film, I can see him being used down the road, maybe in Chapter 2, or having an appearance actually in Waller, the TV series, in Chapter 1. So yeah, I think, there's maybe for him. I'm not 100%, but maybe. Now for another that I don't think is going to happen, I mean, Red Hood, so Jason Todd. James Gunn's confirmed that the Bat family are coming to the DCU, and that, it's not just going to be Damian, which would be weird in itself if it was just Damian. But Red Hood, he's the second Robin, so he came in after Dick left Batman. However, a bit later down the road, Joker did murder him, and that was a fan vote. He could have survived, but the fans went, no, kill him off. So he was killed, and then later on he came back thanks to the Lazarus Pit, and he took under the acronym of Red Hood. So he still does kill from time to time, but he's reined that in a bit so that he can still be alongside the Bat family and that they don't just take him down. He's more of an anti-hero sort of thing, and he has been a part of his own team called Red Hood and the Outlaws. I can see his outfit being used in the Batcave in Brave and the Bold, as a sort of reminder to Bruce on how he failed Jason, but this could be a motivational tool to sort of say, like, this is how you got to raise Damian right, and not let Jason's death go to waste. However, I don't think we'll see Red Hood as Red Hood until that sort of future. So I think Chapter 2 beyond, we'll be seeing Red Hood, but not right away. Next up, Mr. Freeze. I feel like this is a bit of a rogue one. Freeze is a long-standing villain in the Batman Rogue Gallery, and his character sort of comes from desperation and sadness compared to sort of just the motivation to get wealth and power, because he froze his wife after she sadly contracted a deadly illness, and of which there was no cure. So in the hopes that he could cure or another cure could be found, she was frozen away. However, there was an accident while he was trying to do this, and it meant that now his body can't survive outside of sub-zero temperatures, so that he had to create a suit, and that's why he's sort of an ice-themed sort of thing, because he can't survive outside of ice. So yeah, I believe it is very unlikely to be that he'll be placed in the new DCU, at least in Chapter 1. I can't see where he'd be placed outside of Batman Brave and the Bold. And even then, outside of a shot of going through Arkham, he wouldn't really fit the story in my mind. And I just don't think he's going to be one of the 5 that Gunn's talking about. So next up are the Court of Owls. Again, another one that I don't think is going to happen quite yet anyway. The Court are a secret organisation that runs Gotham in the background. In the comics, they came to popularity when Scott Snyder wrote them into continuity in the New 52 Batman run. The elites of Gotham make up the members, and they use assassins called Talons, who are genetically enhanced to effectively be immortal, and they can only be taken down from sub-zero to cold temperatures. The Talons have been shown off in the Gotham TV series, as well as being the centre of the Batman and Robin animated film. So, like Freeze, unless they are the focus of the Brave and the Bold, I can't see them being introduced to the DCU. I think they might be a better fit for Matt Reeves' The Batman with Patterson. However, this would be a good way to just get the Bat family, because in the in the comics run with the Court. Red Hood, Nightwing and other members of the Bat family made an appearance across Gotham, overthrow the Court and stop what they were trying to do. But yeah, I can see this more of a Matt Reeves thing compared to Gunn. So we'll say no for the Court for now. Now back to a character that I think will be on this top 5 is the Zatanna. So Zatanna is one of the strongest magic users in DC, and her abilities come from speaking words and sentences backwards.
E-coms, dinosaurums, etiac, decaf, saps, no also
And she is a member of the Justice League Dark, a sub-team of the Justice League that focuses on supernatural threats. The most recent version of the team was led by Wonder Woman, with Zatanna as a prominent part of the team. In the pre-Flashpoint version of the character, she was often haunted by the death of her father, Zatara, and aimed to bring him back to life. However, I don't think that will sort of be a prominent thing if she shows up, unless she gets her own project. And because the title of Chapter 1 is called Gods and Monsters, I think, any magic-based user that appears on any list has a chance of at least being name-dropped. But I do think the most obvious choice of her appearance would be in the Swamp Thing film, and she could be there. Even if it's an end credit scene, I think we will see Zatanna in that film. And finally, we've got John Constantine. I think, like Zatanna, he's going to show up in Swamp Thing. He's as powerful, if not more powerful than Zatanna, and he has sort of a more nonchalant, sarcastic attitude to most things, but he still cares about the people he holds dear, even if he doesn't really show them that. He's not afraid to make deals with demons and devious creatures alike to get what he wants. However, he doesn't normally have a backup plan to what goes down. He's usually sold his soul several times over, or at least parts of it, so he's not afraid to just really get himself out of things. Matt Ryan, I think, was the perfect actor for Constantine, similar to how Kevin Conroy was like the perfect fit for Batman for all those years. So yeah, just to sort of summarise, I think Nightwing, Martian Manhunter, Brainiac, Zatanna and Constantine are all going to be making an appearance. I could be completely wrong. It could be one of the other 5. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And maybe, maybe I'll be right, you'll be right, I could be wrong, so who knows. But either way, let me know, and I will see you guys all next time.